The Cook Who Forgot the Taste. 1. For 30 years, a cook named Hana fed the people of her village. Not a chef, not a restaurateur, a cook. She worked in a kitchen the size of a large closet, with 2 burners and a wooden table, scarred from decades of use. She had no recipes written down. She had never needed them. She knew when the soup was ready, not by the clock but by the smell that reached her at the far end of the kitchen. She knew how much salt by the weight of it in her palm. She knew the fish was fresh by pressing it once with her finger and feeling what the flesh said back. People came from neighboring villages. They came for something they could not name. They ate, and they were quiet for a moment. And then they talked about other things. And they came back. So, in Hana's 31st year, a food scientist came to stay in the village. He was writing a book. He wanted to document traditional cooking methods before they disappeared. He asked if he could observe her work. She said yes. For 3 weeks, he sat in the corner of the kitchen with a notebook and a set of small instruments. He measured temperatures. He recorded proportions. He timed the stages of preparation. At the end of 3 weeks, he showed her what he had written. Everything she did was there. The temperatures, the proportions, the timing, written down with precision she had never used herself. "This is your recipe," he said. She looked at the pages for a long time. "Yes," she said. 3. The scientist's book was published. It included a chapter on Hana's kitchen. People began to arrive with the book open in their hands. They asked questions based on what they had read. They wanted to know if the temperature she used matched the number in the book. They wanted to know if the proportions were exact. Hana answered their questions. The temperature was approximately right. The proportions were close. She did not tell them that she had never used a thermometer. She did not tell them that the proportions changed, depending on the season, the age of the vegetables, the way the air smelled that morning. She began to keep a thermometer on the wooden table. She began to measure the salt before she added it. It was easier to answer questions that way. 4. 2 years passed. The food was still good. People still came. The numbers on the thermometer were always correct. But something had shifted that Hana could not locate in any number. She noticed it first with the soup. She was standing at the stove one evening, watching the thermometer, waiting for it to reach the temperature in the book, when she realized she had stopped smelling the kitchen. Not that the smell was gone. She had simply stopped attending to it. It was there. She was not. 5. Her daughter came to visit that winter. The daughter had grown up eating Hana's food. She had left the village at 18 and lived now in the city, where she cooked from recipes on her phone and ate at restaurants where the portions were precise. She sat down at the table. Hana brought the soup. The daughter ate. She did not say anything for a moment. Then she said, "It's good." Hana waited. The daughter looked up. "Is something different?" Hana said nothing. She went back to the kitchen and stood at the stove and tried to remember what the soup used to smell like before she had learned what temperature it was. 6. That night, after the daughter had gone to sleep, Hana stood in the dark kitchen. She turned off the overhead light. She put the thermometer in a drawer. She put away the measuring cups. She stood at the stove in the dark and made the soup again. She did not watch anything. She listened to the sound the liquid made as it approached the moment she had always known. She smelled the kitchen. She waited for the smell that meant, now, it came. She tasted it. She stood very still. It tasted the way she remembered. Not quite, but closer. She did not know what had been missing. She only knew that something had returned, that she had not known was gone. 7. She did not throw away the thermometer. She left it in the drawer. She kept the book. She had read it many times. There were things in it she had not known about herself. Patterns she had never noticed. Consistencies she had never named. She was glad the scientist had come. She was glad the book existed. She used the thermometer sometimes, when she was tired, when her attention had gone elsewhere, when she needed the number to remind her where the smell should be, but she stopped letting the thermometer tell her when the soup was ready. She already knew. She had always known. The knowing was in her hands, and in the part of her mind that worked while she was not watching it. She had not lost the taste. She had stopped listening to it. 8. Her daughter came back the following spring. She sat at the same table. Hana brought the soup. The daughter took 1 spoonful. She set down the spoon. She looked at her mother. She did not say it's good. She did not say something is different. She said nothing for a moment. Then she said, "There it is." Hana did not ask what she meant. She already knew.